I mean, I think all of the criticism is valid because, Democrats stand on this moral high ground all the time. And, they act so self-righteous. The reality is he didn't have to say anything in regards to, whether or not, his son wanted to be pardoned. He could have said, hey, man, I'm not focused on that right now. But since they were calling Trump a threat to democracy and they were saying that, nobody's above the law, but they were speaking about him, that's what they were running on. So when he kept saying things like, nobody's above the law, I respect, the jury's decision in regards to my son, he didn't believe that. But he didn't have to volunteer that lie to begin with.
I'm going to stop you for a second.
Uh-oh.
Only because you don't know that it was a lie. I think he changed his mind because he got sick of watching everybody else get over.
Ladies of The View, led by Whoopi Goldberg, have decided that it is Donald Trump's fault that Biden lied and pardoned his son. Try to keep up with this logic, if you can call it that.
I'd stop calling it a lie.
Okay.
Well, here's what it says. It's a precedent for all of us to open our eyes because we've elected someone who is in a similar situation, who didn't have a drug problem, who knew what he was doing, who clearly stood and said, I can do this. And he did it. So I think, for many, many reasons, this is very different than any other situation that we have ever dealt.
Now we've got Jon Stewart, another lefty, losing it, but at least he did try to inject a little humour into proceedings. Sure, as usual with Jon Stewart, he's years late to the party. He said nothing about this Biden family and their dodgy business dealings when it actually mattered. But now, in the final weeks of Biden's lame duck presidency, he's bravely cracking jokes.
Democrats have a moral perch from which they can judge without shame, hypocrisy, or nuance.
Breaking news, President Biden has issued a pardon for his son, Hunter Biden.
Mother... We were so
You know what? It may be a little gutless to finally be showing some interest in the Hunter Biden laptop story and what it all means, but at least Stewart is funny here.
I'm sure the pardon is a narrowly written, precisely drawn farewell note of compassion for a loved one.
The pardon sweeping, covering offenses that Hunter Biden, quote, has committed or may have committed or taken part in over the past 11 years.
Years is a very specific and not rounded amount of time. So, Hunter, I'll give you a pardon. A few years, 5 years, 10 years. It needs to be 11.